Well, while I'm waiting for my shellac to harden on the table before I can rub it out, I thought I'd start a new project to fill in the time, and I've got a book here that I used before in making a screw arm plow plane, and there's some excellent articles in here on plane making. So I decided that I was going to make a small Coffin hand plane, Coffin Smoother, they refer to them often. So I have this book for reference, and I also got off of the web Caleb James drawings for his Coffin Smoother, and his was has an 1 5/8 inch wide blade, and I contacted him and asked him why he picked 1 5/8, and he suggested he liked that size, and but I think I'm going to make it an 1 3/4 since that steel is more readily available, and he suggested some modifications to the drawing then to get it so we're going to be 7 inches long and 2 5/16 inch wide there. And then I have Doug Mulder's drawings here that gives you a nice three-dimensional look at what the inside of the opening looks like. And then lastly, I found on the web another interesting article here by the Norse woodsmith on making a traditional Coffin Smoother, and it's a really good article. Yeah. So anyway, I ordered some steel, and so that'll be here probably in a day or so. And so now we're gonna cut the blank. I've got a piece of quarter sawn beech here left over from the last time that I was making planes, and it's a good 4 inches wide or more. It's nicely quarter sawn. So I need a blank out of it. There's some checks in it, but I need a blank out of it that's 2 5/8 inches high by 7 inches long by 2 3/8 inches thick. So I'm going to cut a blank out of that and see where we can go from there. So there we have the plain blank cut out and squared off. I marked the bark side along here somewhere. There it is. So there's the bark side, and that's our it's still a little long than it needs to be. And then this was a piece of the cutoff of the larger block, as I made it down to size. That'll work well for the wedge. So we've got the blanks. Now we got to mark it out and all the angles and prepare for chopping out the mortises. So here we have it marked out. Now I'm not sure if you can see the lines, but there's the bed line and the abutment line, and then of course the breast line, and then there's the wear, and we have 7/32 I think is the dimension between there. Yep, 7/32, and this is for a 5/32 inch thick blade, and so that leaves you a 32nd. The top, you can see that's 1 13/16, so it's a 1/16 of an inch wider than the actual 1 3/4 blade. And then there's an 1/8 inch abutment. It gets narrower there and then widens back out to the front. So all that remains, and here's the bottom, so there's the mouth, 7/32 of an inch wide and centered on the bottom of the plane. The bark side is down and the grain is sloping back this direction, which is similar to what we do with the side escapement planes. So now all I do is have to take out all this material in here. So I'll get started on that. I'm going to drill it out first to take a lot of the material out and try to stay away from the lines as much as possible, and then start with the bench chisels and to take out the rest of the material. I'll probably chop out the mouth down here first, so that there's an opening there, so that'll leave some place for the chips to fall through when I get that close. So here we go. So I'm chopping this out with the hollow chisel mortise here. I'll try to stay out of the picture a little bit so you can see what's going on here. But the jig I made for when I was making side escapement plane. So it's just a matter of working around the square to take as much of the material. I'll get fairly close to the lines, but not to the lines, and then not real deep because it comes together. So I'm chopping out the opening, and I'm using bench chisels and mortising chisels, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through. As you can see, I'm not real close to the lines, but I've got the bed angle pretty good. The breast angle's a little steep, but we won't worry about that until we start to pair the exact angles. So more chopping out to do.